10 islands that appeared on maps, then vanished forever. The phantom shores of lost cartography. They were once marked boldly on maps, charted by explorers, believed by sailors, and feared by empires. Islands, sometimes no larger than a speck, other times grand and mountainous, that were recorded, drawn, and even claimed. But over time, they began to vanish. Not beneath the waves with a crash of thunder, but quietly, subtly, as if they had never been there at all. No ruins, no wreckage, no trace. Tonight, we journey into the ghost geography of our world to uncover 10 islands that once appeared on maps and then disappeared forever. Story 1. Hy-Brasil. The vanishing isle of the Atlantic. For centuries, mariners spoke in hushed tones of Hy-Brasil, an island west of Ireland, veiled in mist and visible only once every 7 years. It first appeared on maps in 1325 by Genoese cartographer Angelino Dulcer. Over the next 500 years, it was mapped dozens of times, sometimes round, sometimes mountainous, always placed somewhere in the North Atlantic. Sailors claimed to have seen it. Some even said they landed on its shores, describing a land of advanced civilization and golden domes. In 1674, Captain John Nisbet allegedly returned with gold and tales of a wise race living there. But Hy-Brasil began to fade from maps in the 18th century. No expeditions could find it. The fog never lifted again. Today, it's dismissed as a cartographic error or a mirage. But how did so many centuries of navigators see the same thing? And why did it vanish in unison? Story 2. Sandy Island, Australia's phantom. Off the northwest coast of Australia, in the Coral Sea, lay Sandy Island, or so we thought. It appeared on maps for over a century. First marked by British whalers in 1876, and later charted by weather services and digital mapping systems like Google Earth. But in 2012, a team of Australian scientists aboard the RV Southern Surveyor went to verify its location. What they found was nothing. Just deep, blue ocean, 1,400 meters deep. The island was instantly removed from databases and mapping systems. It was officially non-existent. The question remains, how did an island make it into the 21st century on scientific maps without ever existing? Was it a misreading of floating pumice, a clerical error, or something more? Story 3. Bermeja, Mexico's missing island. In the Gulf of Mexico, maps from the 16th to the 20th century recorded a small island, Bermeja. Its position was no mystery. Spanish records consistently marked it at nearly the same coordinates. But when Mexican authorities sent naval expeditions in the early 2000s, they found nothing. No landmass, no shallow shelf, just water. What makes Bermeja different is what it represented: ownership. Had it existed, Mexico would have been entitled to claim vast swaths of oil-rich sea. Some believe the island sank. Others whisper darker theories of strategic demolition or geopolitical manipulation. Whatever the truth, its absence cost Mexico billions and left behind a political phantom on a maritime stage. Story 4. Bus Island, a shipwreck's illusion. In 1578, Martin Frobisher led a doomed English expedition to find the Northwest Passage. Among the icebergs and fog, he sighted what he believed to be new land, Bus Island. It was promptly mapped and included in nearly every maritime atlas of the North Atlantic for over a century. Yet in the 1800s, as whaling ships passed through its marked position, the reports turned to disbelief. No land, no shoals, no obstruction of any kind. Modern historians now think Buss Island was a misinterpretation, perhaps of sea ice or mirages caused by polar light. But for 200 years, it was believed to be real. How many ships avoided it? How many altered their course because of a ghost? Story 5. Isle of Demons. A place of exile and fear. Near Newfoundland, early French and Portuguese maps showed an ominous landmass, the Isle of Demons. According to 16th century lore, it was a cursed island haunted by monstrous creatures and spirits. In 1542, French noblewoman Marguerite de la Roque was marooned there, a punishment for an illicit affair. Her tale of survival, hunted by beasts, alone after her lover's death, became legend. The island appeared on maps until the 17th century, then vanished completely. No island exists where maps once placed it. Was it a mislabeling of nearby isles? Or did early explorers really encounter something primal and terrifying? A place best left unmapped? Story 6. Thule, the edge of the known world. First described by the Greek explorer Pytheas around 320 BCE, Thule was the land beyond the borders of the known world. 6 days' sail north of Britain, it was cold, dark, and alien. Pytheas described midnight suns and frozen seas, elements which, to later historians, hinted at Iceland or Norway. Yet no consensus was ever reached. Medieval and Renaissance maps placed Thule in various locations: Greenland, the Faroe Islands, even the Arctic Circle. Eventually, it faded from serious cartography. But the idea of Thule endured. Twisted into myths, Nazi occultism, and nationalist ideologies. Whether real or imagined, Thule represented a boundary. A last outpost before mystery and madness began. Story 7. The Island of St. Brendan, a saint's lost paradise. In the 6th century, Irish monk St. Brendan supposedly set sail westward and found an island paradise, lush, abundant, filled with strange animals and angelic music. The island appeared on medieval maps for centuries, usually west of Africa or south of Iceland. Some called it the Promised Land of the Saints. Portuguese explorers searched for it. Spanish fleets looked in vain. Each time they returned with empty charts. Modern historians suspect it was a blend of myth and misinterpreted sightings, perhaps icebergs, perhaps volcanic islands glimpsed at a distance. But for 1,000 years, men risked their lives for a paradise that was always just out of reach. Story 8. Antillia, the island of 7 cities. Before Columbus ever crossed the Atlantic, maps from the 15th century showed a large island west of Portugal, Antillia, shaped like a rectangle. It was said to be settled by Christian refugees fleeing the Muslim conquest of Iberia in the 8th century. They founded 7 cities, rich with gold, libraries, and knowledge. Antillia captivated navigators, especially the Portuguese. Expeditions went in search, believing the land would bring glory and salvation. After the New World was discovered, Antillia vanished from maps, replaced by the real geography of the Americas. But unlike myths that faded quietly, Antillia became absorbed into the naming of the Antilles. And perhaps, into deeper myths of lost civilizations. Story 9. Saxonburg Island, a captain's conviction. In 1804, Captain Galloway of the American ship Fanny reported a volcanic island in the South Atlantic, Saxonburg. He even sketched it. A flat top, steep slopes, green with vegetation. Other captains claimed sightings over the next few decades, reinforcing belief in its existence. It made its way into atlases and naval charts. But by the late 19th century, exhaustive searches turned up nothing. No trace of land, shallow reef, or volcanic remnants. Some argue it was a drifting mass of seaweed. Others say it was an honest mistake, multiplied by repetition. But one truth remains. For decades, sailors avoided a place that never existed. Story 10. Emerald Island, swallowed by the southern ice. In 1821, British whalers navigating near Antarctica claimed to see an island, ice-capped, greenish in hue, rising from the mist. They named it Emerald Island. Over the next 60 years, several expeditions tried to locate it. In 1840, it was included in official U.S. Navy charts. In 1890, the HMS Thetis sailed through its supposed coordinates. There was nothing. Modern sonar scans have revealed no landmass. Emerald Island had vanished. Was it ever real? Or did explorers, sleep-deprived and frostbitten, mistake iceberg shadows for land? Either way, the name remains. On old maps, frozen in time, a memory of land that may never have been. The cartography of shadows. These were not fairy tales scribbled by children, but coordinates inked by navigators, trusted by empires, and printed by governments. For centuries, entire voyages were planned, and lives risked, for lands that never existed. The mystery of these vanished islands is not just that they disappeared, but that we believed so deeply in their presence, that even with wind in our sails, stars overhead, and sextants in hand, the human eye saw what it wanted to see. In every blank corner of the map lies possibility and danger. These phantom islands remind us that even the most trusted records can be wrong, that myths can wear the mask of fact, and that the sea, vast, cold, and ever-changing, keeps her secrets better than any man ever could.